Help support your Tucson Terrakions in the UCL and pick up a t-shirt today. Link is on the screen and in the description. What's good, YouTube? That 192 here, back again, once again, and today, I am your coach of the Tucson Terrakions in the United Championship League, UCL. Today, you guys, we are back for Week 2's team preparation video. We did one of these last week, taking on Kristen and the Tulsa Talonflames. This week, we are preparing for Twit and the Grand Canyon Greninjas, and trust me, they are no walk in the park. But we'll get into all that here in a minute. If you guys are hyped for this week's UCL match and the forthcoming team prep video, and of course, if you're a proud member of the Happy Nation, make sure you smash that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. And of course, if you guys like to help support the Tucson Terrakions even more, you can head on over to teespring.com/nappyucl, teespring.com/nappyucl. Then you can scoop up a Tucson Terrakion shirt as well. I know a lot of you guys were asking for them, and here you go. But in today's video, we're going to be building our team based upon the 12 Pokemon that we drafted in the colossal 12-hour draft, to see what we can do against Twit's 12 Pokemon, the Grand Canyon Greninjas as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up Twit's team really quick. Like, I should have had this open to begin with, but you know what? I didn't. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see here. Twit's team, he drafted Rotom Wash, Mega Altaria, Alakazam, all three from OU. His UU draft picks were Nidoking, Mandibuzz, and Empoleon. His RU draft picks were Emboar, Escavalier, and Cofagrigus, and his NU draft picks were Buffalant, Hariyama, and Ursaring. So, the biggest thing about Twit's team, a lot of you guys may not know who Twit is. He's one of my oldest friends on YouTube, whatnot. He's not super duper big into Wi-Fi battling and things like that. But the thing is, a lot of the mons that he drafted on his team are very, very scary. Very, very good competitively. Mega Altaria is one of the top 3 megas in the game, easily behind Mega Metagross. Rotom Wash is monstrous in OU and actually runs house over our entire team. I'll get to that here in a second. Then he also drafted Nidoking, who's one of the top tier UU mons. Throw a Choice Scarf on that, and the diversity of his moveset is insane. So we're definitely going to have to do some crazy planning for this week. I actually built not one but 2 teams. Numnexus and PK Sparks both helped us out again with the team building process. Of course, we're not going to team build with them when we face them, but still, they helped out with consultation and whatnot to help us build our team. So like I said, we have 2 different teams to build against Twit's mons. Looking at his list, looking at the Grand Canyon Greninjas themselves, the top 6 mons that I'm going to prepare for, based upon who he think we might bring. See, that's the hardest thing about this, is that if you draft 6 Pokemon, then you know who they're going to bring each week. But the fact that you have 12 Pokemon to draft from, it's really, really hard, because you have to counter team, but you have no idea which 6 Pokemon out of the 12 they drafted they're actually going to bring each week. So it's really, really crazy and really, really hard to draft for. So I think, based upon what we have on our team, the Tucson Terrakions, I think Twit and the Grand Canyon Greninjas are going to bring Rotom Wash, Mandibuzz, Empoleon, Mega Altaria, Nidoking, and Alakazam. Cofagrigus and Escavalier are also semi-threats, but I think the chances of him bringing them are a little bit less than everyone else. The Cofagrigus is very high on my radar based upon Kristen and the Tulsa Talonflames' performance at Dusknoir last week. Any mon that gets access to Shadow Sneak is a huge threat to our 2 highest special offensive attackers, being, I said attackers, being Mega Gardevoir and Gengar. So I think it's going to be some, I can't speak. That's going to have to be something that we're going to have to look out for every single week with our opponents. Any Shadow Sneak users, any powerful, and plus Cofagrigus runs knockoff like it's not funny. So I don't know, like I said, Escavalier and Cofagrigus, they're like lower tier threats. They're lower priority than everyone else for us. But like I said, Rotom Wash, Mandibuzz, Empoleon, Altaria, Nidoking, and Alakazam are who we're preparing for. So what we did was we went ahead and built 2 different teams on Showdown. I'm going to go ahead and explain the thought process behind every single one. So we have our first team here, which is what we're going to go with originally. We have Titania, our Mega Gardevoir, who's rocking the exact same, wait for it. I forgot that I can actually click on it and show you guys everything all at once. It's a lot better. I did that at the end of last week's team prep video. But we have Titania, our Mega Gardevoir. She's going to join us again this week, rocking basically the exact same spread, basically the exact same moveset that we had last week with a tweak. We're not running Focus Blast this week. The only reason we put Focus Blast on Titania last week was for Kristen's Heatran and Ferrothorn, which she told us after the battle, and if you guys went and watched her perspective of the battle, she told us that she knew we were going to overplan for Heatran and Ferrothorn respectively, since they're huge threats on our team. So trying to be the little tricky dick she is, she decided not to bring them, as if we would over-prepare and then that would be our downfall. But we were able to manage with the rest of our team anyways. But still, we rocked Focus Blast last week because of that. This week, we swapped out Focus Blast in turn for Thunderbolt, because with mons like Empoleon and Rotom Wash and Mandibuzz being there, you know, those are going to be threats. Not that a Hyper Voice wouldn't handle them any better, but still, like Empoleon, for example, Thunderbolt's going to do more than a Hyper Voice would. So, we went ahead and slapped Thunderbolt on there. The only thing that I have to worry about when it comes to Thunderbolt is his Nidoking, because he could start predicting and swap out to Nidoking, and that would just eat up a Thunderbolt. But the same sub 3 attack strategy that we had last week that honestly would have worked out if she hadn't brought the Dusknoir. We're going to try it again this week. It doesn't exactly work as well as it did last week compared to Kristen's team, but still this week we should be able to put in some work against a couple of her, I keep calling Twit a woman, god damn it, I'm so used to battling Kristen. It should work well against most of the mons that he might possibly bring. If we can get a sub up, we're definitely going to dish out damage to at least 1 or 2 mons, if not get a few knockouts as well. So that's the mindset. Like I said, we're modest, honestly modest or timid. If we're sub, we're going to try, if we're sub, we can get a free sub off, then we're of course going to go ahead and dish out as much damage as we can. And the timid nature, I don't know, that's just up for debate, whether you like to run timid or modest. I'm going to run modest because behind a sub, I want to be able to dish out as much damage as I can, while we have that one free turn to attack, because the sub is up, obviously. So, like I said, sub, Hyper Voice, Side Shock, Thunderbolt, Titania, the Mega Gardevoir, 252 special attack, 252 speed, and the 4 in special defense as well. So we're going to rock out with what we can. Up next, we have the newest mon added to the team. We have James, who just recently got traded over from the Bristol City Blazekins, our little Weezing. I'm so happy! Weezing is desperately needed for us this week. He is a desperate pick. I'm so glad the stars aligned, and with the league rules of only being able to trade after week 1, and the fact that Twit is our week 2 opponent, if Twit would have been week 1, I guarantee we would have lost. Because even though Twit isn't the best at Wi-Fi, he still has crazy good Pokemon. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how to describe. I don't know what's a good. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, even though he's not that good at Wi-Fi, he still has really good mons. So this is one of these battles this week where it's like a simple misclick could cost us the entire thing. Because if he gets his Mega Altaria set up, then we just get fucked over, basically. So, Weezing is here. I'm glad he's here because Weezing, everyone knows, is a bulky-ass monster. He's base 120 defense. He's a poison type as well with Levitate. So, if he wants to set up his Mega Altaria and go for a Dragon Dance, I guarantee you we should be able to eat up a hit because we resist it. Our defense is off the charts. And if we need to, we can Will-O-Wisp it. And once we Will-O-Wisp that Mega Altaria, it's just like Salamence last week. Once we Will-O-Wisp that Mega Altaria, we're going to stop it in his tracks and we'll be able to handle it a bit better from there on out, because then he's going to have to Dragon Dance again and again and again to get his attack back up. So hopefully James can do the goddamn thing and make it work against this Mega Altaria. He is built specially no, he is not built specially defensive. I read the suggested spread there for a second. I was like, no. He is built physically defensive, bold, of course. Like I said, he's basically here this week for the Mega Altaria, because he has other threats on his team like Rotom Wash that can handle Weezing. Empoleon kind of sort of walls Weezing. That's why we carry Flamethrower for neutral damage against him. The Nidoking, I mean, if we can predict an Earth Power against a few of our other mons, then maybe we can swap out or something like that. I don't know. Like, Weezing is here just for the Mega Altaria because of the addition of Weezing. That's why I think Twit's definitely going to scoop up his Alakazam, because Alakazam tears right through Weezing. Doesn't matter how defensive you make him, unless you have like a Salt Vest, then you might be able to barely live a hit. I don't know the damage calcs on that, but I'm guessing he might be able to live with like 1 HP or something like that. So Alakazam is definitely a scary threat. That's why I listed Alakazam as one of the top 6 mons that Twit was going to bring, because of our Weezing, because Twit knows that we're going to bring Weezing for that Mega Altaria. It's no secret to anybody in the league. That's why we wanted Weezing the most, is to handle Mega Altaria. So I wonder if Twit's going to pull something like Kristen did last week, where because he knows we're preparing for his Mega Altaria so much, he's just not going to bring it. We just have to hope and pray, because if he doesn't bring that Mega Altaria, this battle's not as threatening. It's not as scary as it was before. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty sure he's going to bring Mega Altaria. But up next, we have 30 minutes, our Rotom Heat. He appeared in last week's battle and will be appearing again this week. He is our special wall this time as well. We really didn't need him too much in last week's battle, surprisingly enough. So he was kind of sort of fodder last time around, but with mons like Alakazam running around, Alakazam does tend to run Psyshock, so that might be problematic, but with mons like Alakazam running around, Nidoking especially being the Scarf special attacker, unless Twit tries to bring a physical Nidoking, but I really don't see it happening. I don't think I've ever seen Twit bring a physical Nidoking. I don't know. I'll speak on that again in a second. But if it is special like it traditionally is, special Scarf like traditional Nidoking, Rotom Heat can eat up any hit from the Nidoking. The Altaria, if he brings a special Altaria, which I don't see him doing. Empoleon, we absolutely wall it for sure. Actually, no, I take that back. Oh, we don't wall it because of simple typing, like water. I don't know why I completely forgot his water typing. I forgot his water typing because we're electric, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, we'll just shit all over him with our electric attacks. Oh, wait, he's a water type, and we're a fire type. He can still shit on us, too. So we kind of sort of wall him, though I'm sure if he brings his Empoleon, that's going to be his special defensive wall. Someone there to set up Stealth Rocks as well. I don't know. We'll see. And the Mandibuzz can't really touch Rotom Heat either. I mean, you want to foul play the Rotom Heat, you're going to Brave Bird the Rotom Heat, we'll just hit you with a Volt Switch right back, you know, we're going to do as much damage as we can. Even if you want to Brave Bird, we can Will-O-Wisp the Mandibuzz, because I'm pretty sure if he does bring the Mandibuzz, it'll be a wall on his team, so it's not like it's going to hit us that hard anyways, because even if he does Brave Bird, we still resist it, so it's not that big of a deal. And then the Rotom W himself, his Rotom, that's going to be like a back and forth affair. Since we're special defensive, we should be able to get a Hydro Pump. It depends on how he builds his Rotom Wash. If he builds his Rotom Wash calm, then we're going to have an issue because we're dishing out neutral damage with a Volt Switch to him. But if it is offensive, we should be able to eat up a Hydro Pump, and if we Volt Switch right back, we should be able to do more damage than it would, obviously, if he was built specially defensive. So Rotom Heat was just too good of an option not to bring this week. I really don't want to get into the habit of bringing the same Pokemon week after week after week after week. It just so happened that this week we needed to bring Gardevoir, Lucario, Flygon, and Rotom Heat again. That's all it is. Because as you can see, we have Quillfish on the board here. We're going to speak about him momentarily. So I am going to try and switch it up and bring different mons each week so that we're not as predictable as you think we would be. But this week, just against Twit's seriously threatening team, we just needed some sort of power. That's all it came down to. And these mons just fit the slot too well. But either way, we have 30 minutes to Rotom Heat here as well. Will-O-Wisp, Overheat, Volt Switch, Pain Split. A lot of people were saying that our downfall this season is going to be the fact that we run too many typical sets. I think that when it comes to a league format, yes, it does encourage crazy different sets like how Kristen had Gunk Shot on her Liepard last week, but at the same time, if the standard set works, there's no reason to switch it up. There's no reason to try and do anything crazy. You know, this is what Rotom Heat is here for. Rotom Heat is here to eat up special hits, to burn whatever it can, and Volt Switch all over people's faces. Like, that's simple as it gets. That's what Rotom Heat is here for. Now, if we need to Scarf it and use Trick on it or anything else like that, then when the time comes, we can do that. But for now, for Twit's team, like I said, this is what we need our Rotom Heat to be. So, all you guys out there that don't like standard sets, then sorry, buddy. I don't know what that was. Up next, we have Blue Note, our Lucario, who again is running the same set as last week, only because, like I said, the Mega Altaria serves to be a huge threat like Kristen Salamence was last week. So we're going to be Sash Ice Punch. That is the biggest thing for us, Sash Ice Punch, because if Twit's Mega Altaria gets out of control, we can at least fire off a strong-ass Ice Punch, hit it and do as much damage as we can, if not knock it out. I think Mega Altaria... What's Mega Altaria's... I don't know what... let's look up... Let's look up Mega Altaria's defense, because I know its speed doesn't go up when it Mega Evolves, but its defense might just go up. Oh, you guys can see all of this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have this all over your face, but hey, you can see the stats. Its defense is 90 and it's 110, so it's definitely going to live in Ice Punch because it's not quad effective. It's definitely going to live in Ice Punch because it's not quad effective. So hopefully we can Ice Punch it and then E-Speed it the turn after, because as far as I know, standard Mega Altaria sets, as far as I know, Altaria doesn't get any priority, period. I don't think. I'm trying to think what possible priority could it get. I'm not 100% sure. That might be my downfall. Knock on wood. But still, like I said, Sash, Ice Punch, we can eat up a Return, we can eat up an Earthquake, we can do whatever we need to do. Fire off an Ice Punch, because ideally he's going to outspeed us by the time he gets a Dragon Dance up. If he doesn't have a Dragon Dance up, then we're going to get an Ice Punch off turn 1 immediately. And without a lack of priority, we can get 2 Ice Punches off. But if he does have a Dragon Dance up, then that's going to be an issue for us. We'll get a free Ice Punch, then turn 2 we can E-Speed and do as much damage as we can to it. If not knocking it out, hopefully. That base 110 defense is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary. If it was a quad effective Ice Punch, if it was still Dragon Flying, then I wouldn't be so concerned with it, because quad effective damage, as we saw last week with Icy Wind Gengar, that's just too much for any one mod to handle. No one mod should have all that power. But still, that is our insurance policy in the back. The Sash Lucario, so we can eat up a hit from the D-Dance Altaria, fire off an Ice Punch, and then Extreme Speed afterwards. The secondary plan for this Lucario is Swords Dance. Because of the fact that we have Focus Sash, we have a free turn to Swords Dance. And if we can't outspeed the next turn, we can Swords Dance, Close Combat, or Ice Punch, anything on our way. If we don't outspeed, we get a Swords Dance, a +2 E-Speed off. So even then, we have the chance to dish out a lot of damage. Even if we don't need to call on that insurance policy of Sash Ice Punch on him, he still has the option there to do what he needs to do. And of course, he's rocking Justified, so any knockoff users, if he wants to bring Cofagrigus or anybody else like that, we're there. Justify, boom, bada bing, bada boom. But then again, it transfers Mummy when it hits us with physical contact, right? Mummy works if he attacks us too. It scares me. That Cofagrigus might be a bigger problem than what I planned for. We'll see. We can handle it no matter what we need to do, because Cofagrigus is built physically defensive. It's not built specially defensive, so if we need to, we have Rotom Heat, we have Titania there to dish out the damage we need to against the Cofagrigus, which might be kind of scary. I don't know, we'll see. By the way, our Lucario's here. Like I said, Blue Note is here again, rocking out this week. Jolly Nature, 252 attack, 252 speed. We're going to do what we can with it. Now, the new thing, no, I'm going to skip over Quillfish right now, because that's the wild card in the team. I'm going to go here to Scrub, because we brought Scrub the Flygon again. And looking at Twit's team, the only thing that he really has to set up any sort of hazards is his, Cofagrigus set up spikes? Yeah, Cofagrigus can set up spikes. And then the the Empoleon can set up Stealth Rocks. Now, Stealth Rocks is only an issue, serious issue on our team for Rotom Heat. Everyone else is just going to take regular damage from it, which sucks in the long run, I understand. But I decided not to go for Defog this week on Scrub, because after seeing how Kristen reacted to Flygon last week, it was such a red flag that was our Defog user. I don't necessarily want to not be a red flag with Defog, because that could keep them from going for rocks a certain turn or not. But at the same time, what Nexus and I decided to do was, again, for the Mega Altaria, if anything happens to Flygon and Flygon's going to go down or whatnot, then we can set up a Tailwind. Now, Tailwind is a strategy that Kristen tried to use against us last week. And again, I feel like this is like a secondary strategy, kind of sort of like how the Swords Dance is on Lucario. If we get the chance, if it's opportune for us to set up a Tailwind, that doubles the speed of the entire team for the next 3 to 5 turns or however long it is. So that's actually something that would be very, very nice, especially against the Mega Altaria, because Mega Altaria being base 80 speed, if we can double the speed of Gardevoir, we can go out there, get a fucking Hyper Voice off, deal crazy damage to Mega Altaria. If we need to, Lucario will definitely outspeed then, because Lucario is what, base 90? Like the Altaria would need at least 2 to 3 Dragon Dances to outspeed at that point. So easily Tailwind's not a terrible option. Again, we're planning for the Altaria and the Scarf Nidoking at this point, because if we can double our speed, we'll definitely outspeed the Scarf Nidoking, and we can dish out serious crazy damage if we need to. Nidoking's not living a Life Orb Earthquake from Flygon at all, so Earthquake, Dragon Claw, U-turn, Tailwind if need be. I hope not carrying Defog doesn't turn out to bite us in the ass, because like I said, I don't see Twit running like Spikes or Toxic Spikes if he gets it on Cofagrigus. I can't remember. I can see him setting up Stealth Rocks with Empoleon though, but I don't see him going so far as to set up Spikes. So hopefully, like I said, knock on wood, not running Defog this week doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. But that's the risk that you have to take in a league style format, you know, things like that. And the only reason I even took that risk to begin with is because, again, looking at Twit's team, he doesn't have that many Pokemon that could possibly set up hazards. And again, that's based off of the 6 months that I feel like he would most likely bring. There is the threat of Hariyama as well, because it carries Bullet Punch for our Mega Gardevoir, but we have James the Weezing. Hariyama can't really touch Weezing. I mean, he can use Knockoff, but then what? We could burn him. It would be Guts, which would suck, but that would still be chip damage. We could just Pain Split him off, and then we could Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, you know, we could just whittle the Hariyama down. Hariyama's defenses are not all that. Well, his defenses are decent, but well, no. His defenses aren't all that. His HP is what's all that. So I don't know. It would just take us a little while, but I feel like a stall war between the two of them, Weezing comes out on top each time, unless there's crits or something like that. But that's the craziness that is Pokemon. So like I said, scrub the Flygon, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, U-Turn, Tailwind, Life Orb so we can dish out extra damage. A lot of people, like Kristen did last week, think that Flygon's going to be Scarfed or Banded, so with the possibility of Life Orb, we can get a crazy Earthquake off, and if we know, oh, we're not really going to live this next turn, throw up a Tailwind before Flygon gets knocked out, and we should be good to go. Now, the final Mon on this team, we have little Qwilfish here. Now, originally, Qwilfish was drafted as trade fodder to the South Beach Slowkings. David wanted to draft David drafted Tyrantrum. I was sitting there thinking that Tyrantrum wouldn't be too bad to have. His attack and defense are really, really good. Dragon Dance Tyrantrum, if you get the chance to get it up, can actually put in crazy work because Tyrantrum hits like a truck. He has a wall breaker in his tier, so it's perfectly understandable why we want Tyrantrum on the team. But looking back, Nexus opened my eyes to the awesomeness that is Qwilfish. Now, Qwilfish's stats aren't all that, so he needs help in one way or another. Either he needs to be banded, Assault Vest, as you can see here, and what we ultimately decided to do on our first attempt at this, we made it Adamant and Assault Vest, because Qwilfish has such a wide range of attacks. It can do Toxic Spikes, it can do Thunder Wave, you know, it has so many different options. You know, you T-Wave, Waterfall, Flinch Hacks the hell out of somebody. But what we decided to do is we Assault Vested it, we made it Adamant, 248 HP, 252 attack, and 8 in special defense, just in case for the Nidoking, so we can eat up a hit, because an Earth Power from the Nidoking would hurt, a Thunderbolt from the Nidoking would hurt, so we want to make sure that we can live those hits. Oh, and the Alakazam, rockin' Psychic, would hurt as well. So, the idea is that we Assault Vested it so we can take a hit, because its base special defense, as you see, is only 55. You know, Qwilfish, like I said, its stats aren't all that, but the other nice thing about it is that it carries Intimidate as a hidden ability. And again, thinking about that Mega Altaria, we need to Intimidate it, lower its attack, so that we can live some hits from it and do what we need to do. Now, when it comes to being Adamant, I think we're in the damage calc. Poison Jab, almost, if not absolutely one-shots Mega Altaria. So if we can Intimidate it, live a hit it with a Poison Jab as hard as we can, Mega Altaria's gone. Dunzo. Just like that. Now, that would be amazing to use the versatility of Qwilfish that way, and that's what we originally wanted to do, and that's honestly not a bad idea for later weeks in the season. But what we ultimately decided to do, as you see, we go back here, we have a second team, and this time we have Gastrodon on the team. And the reason for that is, when you look at the rest of Twit's team, when it comes to Mons that Twit might potentially bring, Mandibuzz can't touch Gastrodon. It's another physical wall. Mandibuzz is not touching it. Empoleon can't touch Gastrodon. It doesn't matter unless you... Does Empoleon get Grass Knot? I think Empoleon might get Grass Knot. Let me double check that. I feel like I've seen that before somewhere. Maybe I saw someone use Grass Knot on Empoleon and I'm getting it mixed up or something like that. My goodness, I hit the wrong button. I'm pretty sure that Empoleon, let's just Control F it. Do you get, yes, it does get Grass Knot. So a Grass Knot Empoleon might be an issue, but besides Grass Knot, Empoleon can't touch Gastrodon. When it comes to Nidoking, Earth Power might be the best thing it could do to us. It could Sludge Wave us and maybe poison us. Thunderbolt obviously isn't going to do anything. Ice Beam's not going to do anything. Flamethrower's not going to do anything. And if Twit wants to be that guy and run a physical Nidoking, still, it's not going to do anything to us. If Twit runs a physical Nidoking, that would honestly be the best thing for us, because with Weezing and Gastrodon both on the team, we're living it. We are living it. Like, it does not matter. Because what does physical Nidoking run? Poison Jab, Earthquake, Sucker Punch, Mega Horn. You know, we're going to live those hits with everybody on our team. Like I said, Gastrodon walls the Nidoking. Alakazam, kind of. If we can predict, like, Psyshocks, that might be a tricky play to do. I know Alakazam is a special attacker. We're not a special wall, obviously. An Energy Ball might be a bad thing to switch in on. Of course it would be. That would one-shot us. But still, in a sense, if we could plan for a Psyshock, then, you know, obviously Gastrodon's going to eat up a hit. But the biggest reason that we wanted to bring Gastrodon, because like I said at the beginning of this video, Twit's Rotom Wash runs house on our entire team. Gardevoir might be the only person that would regularly eat up a hit from it. Even then, it's still going to do damage. That's not what we want. So when it comes to Gastrodon, unless Twit's running like Hidden Power Grass on his Rotom Wash, Rotom Wash can't touch Gastrodon. At the same time, there's really not much that we can do in return. It would just be a stalwart at that point, where we'd be spamming Scald, and he would try and Pain Split us, or he would try and Will-O-Wisp us or something like that. But his two primary typings can't touch us. Storm Drain, eat up the Hydro Pumps. Ground type, fuck your Volt Switch, fuck your Thunderbolt, you know? So unless he's running Hidden Power Grass specifically for Gastrodon, you know, we should be able to eat up a hit. But, like I said, Gastrodon proves to be too useful in this matchup to not use it this week over Qwilfish. Qwilfish is useful as well, but something like a crit could do in Qwilfish, and that entire strategy with Qwilfish is donezo. Then again, the same thing could happen to Cindy, but still, when it comes to the other mons that we think Twit's gonna bring, Cindy just proves to be too useful against the team. So, what we decided to do was, Twit and I did do a few scrim matches when we first drafted our mons after the draft. And what I found out is that with Dragon Dance up, Mega Altaria return does like 90% to Cindy. That's why I desperately wanted Weezing on the team. So when it comes to Mega Altaria, we can eat up a return, and in return, no pun intended, we'll eat up a return, and in return, we'll dish out the Rocky Helmet damage, which is why we're carrying Rocky Helmet, and we can get off the Clear Smog. Clear Smog will do damage, it's super effective, but it's not stab, and it doesn't have a high base power or anything like that. But it'll clear the Mega Altaria stats. This is, again, another one of those insurance policies against the Mega Altaria. I'm telling you, it is the scariest thing on his team. So if he wants to hit us with a return, as long as he doesn't have more than one Dragon Dance up, we should be guaranteed to live a hit from Twit's Mega Altaria, all barring crits and whatnot. So we should be able to live a hit, fire off a Clear Smog, clear his Dragon Dances, get a Recover up if we can live the next hit, get a Recover up, and then either Scald and try and get a burn, or Ice Beam and do what we can from there on out. So, we have so many insurance policies. We have the Weezing for defense, we have Cindy for defense, we have Blue Note with the Sash. The Mega Altaria is the biggest issue for us, and hopefully we can handle it the best way that we possibly can. So, this is the actual team we're going to be using. Everything else is the exact same about the mons that we already went over from the previous team. It's all the exact same. It's just, instead of Qwilfish this week, we decided to go with Cindy. Instead of being offensive and trying to take out the Mega Altaria with one shot, we decided to try and eat up a hit and clear its stats and then handle it that way. I feel like that's a bit easier, because if we can get a burn off on the Mega Altaria from either Rotom Heat or Skull from Cindy, that's gonna really cripple the Mega Altaria, to be honest. He'd have to Dragon Dance at least twice to dish out any sort of serious damage from there on out. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, and we have the insurance policy with the Tailwind Flygon as well, if need be. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we can do what we need to do and get the damage off on the Mega Altaria, because honestly, once the Mega Altaria goes down, the rest of his team really just becomes a bunch of scary UU threats. I know Alakazam and Rotom Wash are OU, but Alakazam was UU for the longest time, so still in my mind, there are UU mons that can handle Alakazam decently enough. Rotom Wash, it would basically just be Rotom Wash and then a bunch of UU mons that we can try and dish out damage that we can with. And if he decides not to bring the Mega Altaria, then that would make us even luckier, because that would take so much stress off the entire battle. But knowing Twit and the fact that he drafted the Mega Altaria and the fact that it's such a monster, I don't think he's not going to bring it. So hopefully we drafted the correct mons this week and we didn't predict incorrectly. Like I said, I don't want to bring the same Pokemon week after week after week. We haven't even used Chansey yet, and we didn't use Gengar this week either. We didn't even use Chansey yet, so I don't want to draft the exact same mons week after week after week. It's just this week for Twit. A lot of the mons that we used last week come in handy again, so it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. I hope that you guys are hyped for this week's UCL battle. It should be up tomorrow at 10 AM Eastern Standard Time. And of course, if you'd like to support the Tucson Terrakions in this season of the UCL, you can go ahead and scoop up a t-shirt from teespring.com/NappyUCL. Link should be in the description as well. And of course, if you're hyped and a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of our team for this week. Let us know what you think, or what threats you think Twit is going to be bringing this week as well. And let us know any tips or suggestions you have for any matchup for this season, the UCL. Either way, you guys, I'm hyped. I hope you are as well. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you for checking out the video. You know me, YouTube, that 192. I'm out.